Hey everyone, it's David here. So the last video I did for you was on flipping properties, and today I'm going to talk to you about one on flipping properties and surplus funds, because I get a lot of emails, and one of the number one comments I get is, I want to be a real estate investor. I'm going to do surplus funds to get enough money to real estate. I can't tell until I can do real estate. Cannot tell you how many times I've gotten a video that has said that. The second one is, I really want to get in real estate. I think it's more profitable than surplus funds. Well, let's look at a couple scenarios. I'm gonna let you decide. But before I do that, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the link below, subscribe to my channel, click the notification link. I'd love for you to be one of my lucky winners. Okay, so in this particular property right here, I'm all in at 112 to 115,000. Using very conservative numbers, when I sell this property, I'll make roughly between 50 to 55,000. Now, properties are being brought to me. I'm not out there and I'm not calling agents with listings. I'm not saying, hey, I see that you have a property here and I want to go ahead and buy it. The last two properties I've had, and even the one before that, the last three I've had have all been brought to me by either an agent, broker, or by word of mouth. And I give a whole nother video on that. But let's look at this property if you want to do this property. Okay, so say your purchase price is 106,000. You have to come in with 30%, 40%. Probably 40 to 50% if you've never done a real estate deal before. But let's go with 30%. You're coming in with just over 30 grand. And then this one has light rehab. Let's say you're going to be on at 10. You have to come in at 40,000. So you're coming in at 40,000. And at one point in my life, those numbers seemed unreachable to me. They were absolutely, that was a lot of money, which it still is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying 40,000 is nothing, but you get to a point where you get established and you could go ahead and do that with hard money. Then you're paying this hard money loan of anywhere from, on a property like this, probably anywhere from $650 to $1,000 a month, depending on your status, what deal you work out with your broker. So say you have this for 4 months, it's your first deal, you're in it for $4,000. Never pay your contractors up front. They're always going to run with your money. You're going to have to establish yourself in that. But you're going to be paying these monthly payments. You're all in at $40,000, maybe even $50,000, and you're paying $1,000 a month. Then you sell it and you make a nice chunk of change, and it definitely happens. Now, here's an example I gave on a YouTube video, and I'm a little rusty on these numbers, but I think on this particular project, I believe this was roughly around 20,000, might have been a little bit higher, and this one will have a payout of 30%, so I'll be making about $6K on it on these ones that I get under contract. So when you get something like this under contract, you make about, on this small deal, it's about $6,000. I'm in no money. I'm not paying a huge overage every single month, and there's a lot of higher deals that are out there. In fact, if you want to know, and if you really want to know what my specialty is tax overages. And if you really want to look at some tax overages, I pulled some data, and let's look at this. Okay, so in this particular county, here's one page of surplus funds that start off is they have 1 of 19 of 2022 all the way down to back of May of 2021. Now there is $1.9 million roughly. If you add these numbers up, I add them all up, it was 1.9 something. And so almost $2 million worth of deals. Now on these, I find that usually for every 10 of these, I get at least one of these under contract. At least one. Usually I could get 2 or 3, but let's just be safe here. So it looks like there's about 30 on this page. If I came in and told you that you'd get every single one of these, and there's a couple that are either nothing or they've been retrieved or the auction got postponed or something, but usually these have been retrieved. So what I would suggest you do is find a location, but let's say that you start off really small and I say work for free. Do a $100 deal, get paid nothing, find out the process, call someone. No one else, I guarantee you, no one's going to call this person right here and say, hey, you have $100 of an overage. Call this person, don't say you're brand new, but say, hey, do you know that this property sold for over the asking price? Person says no, see if you get under contract. By the way, there's millions of these out there. You might want to go with one for 500, make yourself a couple $100. No one's calling on those. Get the process, get the paperwork. Why do I say that? Because I've given video after video of somebody who has been brand new at this, and something gets jacked up, you work in the wrong county, and you're counting on this huge thing. Like you have 104,000 and you're getting 30% of it, and that happens. And I get these emails, and people get paid out on this all the time. I've seen people walk out with 30, 40,000. So you get this one under contract and you make 30,000, and it's a deal that's over 4 months old. I've seen payouts go as early as 2 weeks. Usually it's 4 to 6. In 2 weeks, you've made 30,000, maybe 20 if you do a lighter. You do this one. Now this one would pass up the house, the property, the profit that I'm making on the house. Here's my thing on surplus fund. You're not paying tens of thousands of dollars to get a deal under contract, let it sit there and wait for a buyer. You contact someone and you say, hey, John Smith, I'm calling you about the property that you had on 123 Main Street. Did you know that the asking price for your auction was $21,636.34? It sold for $86,100, leaving you an overage of $64,463.66. And if you know anything about me and in the program, the thing I focus on the most is data. Okay, so I'm giving you a lot of free pointers here. So if you've never done this before, would it be easier to start working projects like this? It's going to take you a couple months to start. I mean, to get familiar with the market. Or you come up to a project like this, it's going to take you several months to get established as well. Plus, it's going to take you a couple months on the flip. So when people ask me, what do they think is more profitable? Some people and I'll talk to people, I coach people, I love coaching, and I'll be talking to people, and I'm like, one of the questions that we ask is, what do you want to get out of the program? I want to become a real estate investor. Okay, great. After my first 3 or 4 deals, I want to start flipping real estate. Okay, so let's say that 1.9 million. Let's say that you get 10% of that under contract. Okay, that would be 190,000. Okay, and let's say that you get of the 190,000. Let's say you get 20% of that on average. That means you get $38,000 you'd be making a month on surplus fund. Now, I do have people that are making that. Those are some of the higher end numbers that you get. But let's say you start off with a project like, okay, so you do the free one, and then let's say I come up to this $9,000 one. If you did 30% of that, that would roughly be $2,700. Let's say you do 2 of those. Let's say you do the $2,700 one and the $7,000 one in 1 month. That's $5,000 a month. The average income is $62,843, and is the average income. And this is, I'm sure that this is taxable income. I just asked Siri that. So if you were making $5K a month in doing this, so you're flipping properties and you're making $5,000 a month in doing this. You get 2 of these, just under 5. Then you get 2 more, or better yet, you're making 10,000. So you're doing a deal a week, and you're getting some larger ones. You've just doubled what the average household income is. By the way, this is pre-tax that you get it. You get a good CPA. You learn how to handle your taxes. Like, my kids are on payroll. They help me out all the time. They're in my YouTube videos. They do work around the house. They do work for the business. They are definitely employed by my business. It's tax-free income if you pay them. I believe it's my CPA figures this out. I believe it's $1,000 per kid per month. So that's $24,000 a year tax-free. I can rent my house out 14 times a year. And what I do is I look at the local hotels on what they're going for the square footage. You take about 3 of those, you average that out, you go with the average asking price of what they do, and you could do that 14 times a year. That is tax-free income that you get a year. So you learn how to, out of that 120,000, if someone's working for that and they're working for a job, they're getting taxed on that full 120,000. What you learn how to do is when you own a business, the laws are in your favor, and if you have the right CPA, you can tap into that. A whole nother conversation. Well, I have videos on that as well. But what I'm saying is, for me, would I rather come in at a house like this, and I do a lot on flipping, I show you guys a lot of this, and I show you guys a lot of the surplus fund deals that I'm doing. I show you guys some checks. Would I rather do this, or would I rather do this? Honestly, I would rather do, I highly encourage surplus funds. Why? Because it's some paperwork, you get it filed with the court, you get the check made out to you. What I do is I do an assignment of interest. The check's made out to my corporation, and then what I do is I do a contingency agreement, and with that contingency agreement, it is a percentage breakdown, and that way the person can't come back and say, hey, you promised me 80%, you're only giving me 70%. It's like, no, right here on February 12th of 2022, you sign this contingency agreement. Again, I've never had that. Generally, when people get paid out, they love you. Especially a woman that I'm working on right now. She had no idea it was her late husband's, and she had no idea that the funds were there. Working with a couple family members in a probate situation, that's always a little bit harder. But those are things that you work out in this business. Like those are specifics that you're working out that you could do. So, answering my question, if you have never done this before and you watch my videos, first of all, thank you. And thank you for the feedback. I love the constructive criticism. I love it when some of you say, hey, I watched this video on here, can you cover this, or you didn't cover that? 100%. If I know it, I want to be covering what I know and how I know it. But secondly, if you're looking at what's the best business to go into, I would say hands down, I would really recommend that you start off with surplus fund. And I have people that I have one person in the program right now. She did 35 deals between April and November of 2021. She is now one of my coaches. I have another guy in the program. He's making over $15,000 a year. He is also one of my coaches. And then I have another guy who scaled his business immediately. He's also one of my coaches. And I'm saying this because the people that we have in the program are the best of the best. I mean, they've had very good success, and they teach that success, and they teach you how to really scale and make your business. I didn't mean to get in a huge commercial here, but I know I do a lot of videos on back and forth on surplus fund and property flipping, and I will continue to do these both because I would say I probably have a pretty good knowledge on both of these subjects, and I am a flipper. Eventually I'm going to start buying and holding. I haven't quite done that yet, but I would say if you're going to do this and you're going to get in this business, I would recommend starting off with surplus fund. And I'm not just saying that as a commercial. It is a great lucrative business to be into. There's free resources on my website. You click places to join on my website, but on this YouTube channel. And if you have any questions on it, please DM me. I'll gladly answer any questions you may have. Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Like I said, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, please, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.